He's going to tell us a little bit more about Old St. Nick. Please welcome Gary Doherty.
Hello.
Hi.
Someone stopped me tonight and they said, "Hey, Gary, gonna read that story about the septic tank?" I said, "No." Good luck with that. It was December 1st. It was a time when my siblings, I had twins, Dave and Diane, a year older than I, and me and my younger sister was like, she's over there. Stand up. She subsidized my trip to Europe. So get friendly with her. Anyway, back to the story. Well, anyway, all four of us still believed in stuff like the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and of course in the guy with the long white beard, the loud red shirt, and that stupid hat. No one else could get away with the stuff he did unless they were giving away shit. I first met him face to face about 6 or 7 years ago. This is as if I was a little boy, not 65 and falling apart. You know, in like an emotional cul-de-sac, having mixed drinks over mixed feelings. And I'll stop that. It's supposed to be happy. Anyway, I first met him face to face about 6 or 7 years ago at the Marshall Fields downtown. It seemed I only saw him in December. I'd sit on this fat lap and breathe in the same air as he did. I'd give him a list of toys that I believed, after seeing the commercials on TV, were really needed by me. Page 2, like I'm Paul Harvey. You know. It was December 1st, 1965. It was a time when I'm repeating myself. I wrote the first page over again because it was such... Stuff I wanted for Christmas was like a G.I. Joe Hot Wheels tracks, you know, with the loop-de-loop. And I wanted those Rock'em Sock'em robots. Never did get those. When I sat in Santa's mystical lap, I thought, this guy, even with his bad breath that smelled like sardines, was some kind of miracle. He was boss. He gave me a green lollipop, and sent me on my way. Then I remembered I had a G.I. Joe last year, but his foot came off when I tried to take his boot off. I wondered if Santa already knew that. I wondered if it was a sin to ask for the same thing 2 years in a row. It is. I held my mom's hand and watched my brother have his little conversation with Santa. Then Santa took a break for 15 minutes. I'd be surprised if Santa had to pee. He really didn't have free time, I thought. I just wrote this, so excuse all this stupid. All right. I knew now was an important starting point for me. I had to be good or nice. I would not tease my sisters for weeks. I would play pretty well, even if I I'd play 10 games of Operation and lose 10 in a row to my brother, and I wouldn't cry. I would take out the garbage. I'd help Mom put away groceries. I'd run errands for Dad. I'd try to remember the difference between a Phillips screwdriver and a screwdriver. My good conduct would begin right after I sat on that big guy's lap. Good or nice behavior on my part until December 26th or so. After that, I could go and be myself again. Part 2. The best thing about St. Nick's Day was that you didn't have to go to Mass. December 6th was a great day, but apparently not very holy. My family of 6 were sitting around the kitchen table. You know, my family of 6 had Mom and Dad, the twins, David and Diane, and my, of course, beautiful, perfect Jeannie, and me in the middle child. But for like a whole year, we'd have dinner, and my parents would ask me questions, and David and Diane answered all my questions, which was okay. And then my mother just sent me this email and said, I can't believe you're speaking in front of people when you went like a whole year letting David and Diane talk for you. Yeah, I got 2 books. They're not funny, or they're just real serious about oil and government and venereal diseases. Anyway, I thank you very much. How are we doing? Anyway, my family at 6 were sitting around the kitchen table trying to enjoy burnt meatloaf and canned carrots and peas. I'd check everyone's place setting. In our house, whoever had the messiest setting had to help with dishes. I was watching to make sure that my peas and carrots weren't slipping off my fork. My brother's setting was always the worst. He was always the worst, but he didn't have to do the dishes every time. He should have. I'm still bitter about that. Sometimes I'd sneak some veggies to our dog, Missy, but then she'd just puke them in. If she could talk, she'd say, not good. I stuffed my mouth with those yucky vegetables, but I didn't ask for more. Mom made a cookie tray of slightly burnt lemon bars for dessert. She was a good cook, but you know, sometimes she just burned everything for like the first 20 years. Just as I was reaching for the biggest lemon bar, there was a humongous knock, knock, knock on the door, the back door. It was so loud, and I'm not hurting your ears, so I won't do that, because you guys are drinking. It was so loud, so shocking, my little sister began crying. I met the twins under the oak table. It was fear. Last year when this happened, I wet my pants. That wasn't good. We were experiencing fear. It must be St. Nick, said Dad. Does anybody know all that December 6th St. Nick stuff? Got one person. Anyway, some cultures, you know, if you're good or nice, kind or swell, in December, well, probably in November, then, you know, St. Nick, if you put your shoes out by the back door, you know, he'll fill it with good, swell stuff. Well, anyway, our family had that. Our family tradition was to go outside and see if we could spot him and to see if he might have left us something. David and I volunteered to go outside and check things out. We entered the December evening darkness on the south side of Chicago. Mom said, one year, St. Nick, when she was a little girl, knocked so loud, so her dad ran out to try to see him, and somehow he got spanked with a 2x4. Only in Chicago, I think. Maybe Berwyn. Anyway, Dave and I found a box filled with apples and oranges and pecans and Cracker Jacks and caramels. There were 2 Hot Wheels convertibles. There was a tiny doll and a Beatles 45 in there too. My sister Diane had a big crush on Paul McCartney. I laid in bed that night. I thought life was pretty great, even boss. I only had 19 more days to be good before Christmas. The path of being good or nice or swell, it was hard, but it was working out pretty good. And this is part 3, and then I'll get off the stage and see what the hell she does. Okay, you can always make something up. I'm sick. Hi. Okay. It was now December 1st of 1968. I was riding home with my friend Patrick in the back seat of their family car. Patrick's mom was driving. She wasn't good at driving with that damn clutch. We kept stalling. Face it, Mom, you're a crappy driver, said Patrick. Mrs. Flynn kind of gritted her teeth, turned around and gave Patrick one of those will you get home looks. In my head, I was thinking that he was violating the code of being good for the entire month of December. He might get coal or rocks for Christmas. Patrick, I said, you better be good or Santa won't bring you anything. There ain't no Santa Claus, stupid, he said. It's your mom and dad that buy them presents. Grow up, Gary, you're 9 years old. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe my friend could lose his faith in that man. I heard someone on TV say there wasn't a Santa, but Dad said, don't believe anything you hear on TV unless it's Walter Cronkite. Mrs. Flynn dropped me off at our house. She pulled me aside and she whispered that I can believe what I want to believe. When I got inside, my dad was sitting at the big black chair reading the sports section of the Trib. You know, the Bears lost yesterday. They did that in '68 too. They have consistency. Is there really a Santa Claus, Daddy? I asked him. Dad's face appeared under the headline of the paper. Gary, there is no Santa. You're old enough to know the truth. Mommy and Daddy buy you the presents and put them under the tree after you fall asleep on Christmas Eve. Really? I said, sensing tears were gonna start dripping. Really, son? I'm sorry, but you are almost 10. I thought you already knew, said Dad. I started to run upstairs. He said, don't tell your little sister. She still believes. I lied down on my bed. I cried. Tears were flowing down my face, and then I ran downstairs, and Dad was now reading the front page of the paper. What about the Easter Bunny? No, son, it's Mommy and Daddy that hide the basket. He said. I ran upstairs. I cried some more. I tried to think today, but that didn't help. Suddenly, I ran downstairs again. I found Dad stirring a big bowl of chili. Dad, what about the tooth fairy? Same thing, Gary. Don't tell your sister. It all seemed like a really mean trick. Neighbor lying all those years. All that time, I tried to be good. I could have been myself. I got a 10-gallon aquarium with all the fixings from my mom and dad for Christmas that year. And everything was fine.